What is up, guys? Xbox 6 here. Today, I'm going to be telling the story about the time that I made spaghetti in the woods. It's more than just spaghetti in the woods, but as you can see from the title name. But anyways, so this took place about maybe a year and a half ago. This was right when I started smoking weed. I don't smoke weed anymore, like as I say. So anyways, so this is like right when I started smoking. So anyways, my friend came over that day and we were tired of eating crappy munchy foods, like the stuff that's gonna get you fat. So my friend had the genius plan of bringing beans, and I grabbed the spaghetti because I didn't know what else to make. And so anyways, I took a pot from inside my house. Me and my friend went to a little fire hole that we dug in my woods because we BMX, and so we dug a hole in my woods and got the dirt from it and made a little dirt jump, and then so we could like BMX on it. And so we made a little dirt jump, and we had a big hole left with like roots and everything in it from from when we dug it out. And so maybe we were gonna use the roots for a little fire, but we cut them out like with an axe and stuff like that, and then we could burn them as wood. But it was wet out a little bit wet out that day, not really too wet, a little damp, and so we couldn't really use the roots, and so we used just leaves and stuff like that. 'Cause the leaves, there was some leaves that weren't wet because like we had like a little tarp over the jump, and so we had like dry leaves under there and everything like that. And so we used those leaves, and my friend lit them on fire, and then we started smoking while getting like the fire lit up. So we were about high when the fire got like really good, and like we were pretty high. And so I got the pan out of my bag and I put it on top of the fire, and then we put some water in it. We had like 2 water bottles and we filled it, and then we had 3 water bottles. We filled it with 2.5, and then you put the spaghetti in and started cooking the spaghetti. And it was a little bit nasty, but it's probably the best spaghetti I've ever made because I don't really cook that much, because whenever I cook, something bad always happens. And so, unless one time my friend slept over, he made hot dogs and they came out pretty good. And so anyways, we made the spaghetti, and the spaghetti came out pretty good. Besides for that, there was pieces of tree and like bark and leaves in there. Wasn't such a good idea, but I don't know, it's still pretty good since we were high. So we started eating away at the spaghetti, and I don't like beans, so my friend gave me most of his spaghetti because I didn't want to eat the beans. I then started cooking the beans, and he cooked them because I didn't know how to cook beans or anything like that. And then, but more pieces of bark and leaf were falling in there. And this isn't even like where this is the starting to be where this story gets bad at. So once we're done eating the spaghetti and the beans, I pick up the pan. Oh no, we also had forks, and we were like melting the forks, and then like I don't know, just like heating up the forks and seeing how they could bend. And I dropped the fork and it hit my leg, and I just heard my skin go like, tss, and I just started screaming because the fork fell on my leg for a second, and it must have been like in the fire for about 20 minutes, and it just fell on my leg and burnt my skin. I don't even have a mark though. Honestly, I don't have a mark from that. I'm looking right now. Yeah, I don't even have a mark. So anyways, and then I got rid of the fork and threw it back into the fire, and so we lost it into the like the blaze of the fire or whatever. And so this is where it gets really bad. So I picked up the pan, and the pan was all black from the smoke and everything like that, and I didn't even want to bother cleaning it because I didn't want to bring it inside my house and have the house smelling like gasoline and burnt fire, because we used some gasoline to get the fire started. And so we brought a bottle out, and we just used a little bit of it to whatever they called it, get the fire started for the beans and stuff like that. And so my friend always had the idea in his mind that we were gonna make a Molotov cocktail. Like if you don't know what Molotov cocktail is, it's a glass bottle, and you put gasoline in it, and you put a rag in it, and you light it on fire, and you chuck it, and it explodes and like burns houses down and stuff like that. And like they used to use them in like the war and everything like that. So I didn't even have anywhere to throw this Molotov cocktail if you wanted to make it. So that's why I didn't want to make it first. And then second, I knew something was gonna go terribly wrong. But my friend had the genius plan of bringing a glass bottle that day, even though I said we're not making a Molotov cocktail. And he peer pressured me into making a Molotov cocktail, but one thing happened. We didn't have a rag to jam up the top. And so we used the Poland Spring label, and then we ripped that off, and we stuffed that in the top of the gasoline bottle, and then we lit it on fire. And then I was told no, we didn't light it on fire yet. Yeah, I went a little ahead. So then we had like a Molotov cocktail, like a ghetto Molotov cocktail, I guess, ready. And then so we set up a little bit of rocks after you preparation. We set up a little bit of rocks on the ground so we could know where to throw it, and so it could be like controlled. But I told my friend it was gonna pour out of the top. We didn't have like a lid to close it, and everything was gonna pour out. And my friend was like, "Nah, we'll be good, man. Don't worry, we'll be good." And so I was like, "Okay, whatever." And so my friend gets the Molotov cocktail, throws it, totally misses the rocks. All the gasoline pours out of the top like I said it would, and lights the ground on fire. Straight up lights the ground on fire. And it keeps going and going and going because he threw this thing hard. That's probably why he didn't get a good throw on it, like a good aim on it. And he threw this thing hard and it kept going. It must have lit like 20 feet of the ground on fire, just like a line of like 20 feet. And then it kept spreading and spreading and spreading on leaves because the leaves weren't really too wet, like I said, but they're a little bit wet. And mainly like the ground was wet, like the soil. So the soil didn't light on fire, but the leaves lit on fire. And then the sky just got like super black and everything started getting black and black and black. I was like, and then when the bottle finally hit, it finally hits a rock on the ground, and then the whole rock like lit up with all the gasoline in the bottle because not all of it poured out. And then the gasoline like finally lit up the rock, and then it hit a tree, like because the rock was right next to a tree, and the tree lit up too. And the sky was so black. I just remember looking up and being like, okay, we are screwed. And so I was like thinking about calling the fire department at this point, but then I was like, nah, we're gonna get in trouble. So we only had half a water bottle left, so my friend dumped it. I told him to run and go grab some water bottles from inside my house. He comes with 3 water bottles. What's the 3 water bottles gonna do for this fire? This fire was huge, guys. And so, like, it was a big fire. And so my friend runs, he's being dumb, grabs 3 water bottles, and we dumped the 3 water bottles on it, and it put out some, but I'll give him credit for that. But then we had to get the soil and kick soil on top of it, because the soil was wet. I had some genius thinking right there. And so the soil was wet, so we could start kicking it and smothering it. And it finally went out, and then I remember he just went home. And I was like I told him, yo, we just go home, act like nothing ever happened, because I didn't want because there's like houses in my woods. And so right where we did this was a house to the right. Honestly, I don't think so. I was hoping that the house owners weren't home. I don't think they were home. But anyways, so everything turned out good. No one ever saw it. But it was like the sketchiest thing I've ever seen. Like I thought we were gonna, not sketchiest thing. I thought we were literally gonna have to call the fire department, and then they're gonna like test us for weed and stuff like that. I don't know. I got super scared. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. See you guys on the next video. Until then.